Okay, back to our video here. We've finished the part studio for the bridge side. We've got our straws all drawn. We've got our nodes drawn. We have mates. So we're all ready to put this together in the assembly. So we are going to do that next. Looking at what we're going for, this is what we'll have in the assembly. Notice I've got some rectangular holes here. This is for the cross bracing, which we'll do in the second bridge. It has different top nodes, which is why we want to make sure we do this parametrically so they all change together. But you'll see we'll add these other nodes that weren't there. And we're going to use a feature called group. Instead of mating everything together, because we've drawn it in the part studio in the correct locations, we're just going to group it, which is much easier than trying to mate straws. The other thing we're going to use is composite parts, which is this symbol here, and then we'll mate that whole group together. And then we'll get this nice finished bridge. So let's go back over here to our video. And I do have an assembly here. I'll just drag that over, rename it. I haven't made an assembly yet. We'll call that side. Just going to be a single side, so it's going to name that singular. And let's bring in, we're going to bring in our lower center node, lower outside node. I'm just clicking on them. It's important to bring them all in at once. And let's zoom out. Now, they're in the right places because that's where they were in the part studio. So notice right now, though, if I was to click and move it, it's not really mated. So we Control Z. We want to keep these in this location no matter what happens. So we're going to do something called a group. And that's this up here. We select them all, and it asks us what we want. And there we go. Now, if you notice, they move together relative to the origin, which is down there. If you ever want to realign to the origin, you can click on your center. You can click, drag, and snap that, and then right-click and say move to origin. And it doesn't permanently move it there, but at least it gives it there for a second. So now we want to make some copies of some of these parts so we can transform it here. So this one's the same as here, so we can actually just click on this node. It still works outside of the group. Control C, Control V. We're not really copying and pasting. We're just bringing in another instance, as it's called, of that node. Notice it says 2, which means it's the second copy of that upper outside node. And we're going to use the mates, fasten mate, and we're going to kind of orbit here. Now we want to get a mate right in the middle. So I find it's easiest to use the cylinder in the middle there. Hold down the Shift key. Actually, it's probably a good habit to get in the habit of using this outside one, because that's always there, even if we do cross bracing. So I'm going to use that one. So hold down the Shift key, and notice we have 3 options: face, center, and face. We want to use the center. So there's our first mate, and now we bring it over here. And now we just need to use the rotate to get in the right place. So I just do this kind of trial and error. That looks right. Yep. And check the box. That is correct. Be careful. You'll see very quickly if it's not right what it'll look like. But I'm pretty sure that is the correct orientation. So now we'll do the same thing with this node over here. We want to do a fasten mate. I'm going to grab the outside circle and hold down Shift, grab the center mate, and then bring that over here. Could you use mirroring and all? Yeah, you could. Oops. I did not make a copy, and I did that before, and it really confused me. Don't forget to make a copy, because you don't want to move that mate. You want to move a mate that's out of the group. Remember, this is part of that group. Oops. Yeah. Since it's part of the group, and we use the mate is part of the group too, so everything's going to move together. So here we go. Fasten mate. Fasten mate. Grab that outer circle, hold down Shift, grab the middle one. Shift is really handy when you're doing mates. And then this oriented right, and I think Oh, this takes a little longer. There we go. Okay. You could also bring your straws in if you want to do that first to make that easier if you can't quite see which way things need to go. But since we have it, let's go ahead and bring our straws in. Straw is a composite part, so you click on the composite part, uncheck that. Only have one composite part, and that's my straws. Notice they're all in the right places because the composite part actually makes everything in the right place. So we want to bring this one in. I can just drop it there. And we want to mate that one to the center of this one. So we need to do the same thing, fasten mate. Grab the outer circle. Hold down shift. There we go. 1, 2, 3. You can just count them if you can't see one. So that'd be 1, 2, 3. You want 2. Okay, and now we go down here and we can solve. Should bring everything into place. If you want to move this back up to the origin, you can. Move to origin. There you go. You don't have to move it to origin, but it's nice to have that sitting there. Okay, so I believe we have a full side. You can check it by moving it around. All right, everything's moving together. We have all of our nodes in place and everything's in line, so none of our nodes are sticking out the back. So yeah, it looks like we are good to go with the sides. Just double check that's all we need for this. Oops, sides. This is the sides here, fasten mates. Yep, all done. And we will continue on the next video with what's next. Next will be, oops, yeah, that was right. Next we will start bringing the full bridge together. Yeah, the full bridge together like that. Okay, I'll work on that in the next video.